In today's video, I'm going to be playing Stardew Valley, but each day I'm going to be adding a new mod. The goal is just to get as far as I can before my PC explodes, or just whenever I feel like it really. But do stick around until the end because it does get pretty crazy. Speaking of sticking around, you should totally subscribe to the channel. You will feel 87% cooler afterwards, I can almost guarantee that. Alright then, let's get into it. On my first day, I loaded into my new farm, which was a forest farm. I have never played on a forest farm before, so hey, that's fun. I headed outside and cleared out some space in front of my farmhouse and collected up some wood for a chest. Now, before I get yelled at, yes, the first day is in vanilla, but I thought it would be nice to have one day of normality because I can assure you it gets pretty crazy as we go on. But that aside, I did all the things I usually do on my first day. I ran around the valley collecting forageables, I popped into Piers to grab some extra parsnip seeds and carried on exploring the valley. Back on the farm, I finished clearing some planting room and hoed out a sizable patch for my parsnips, which I planted and watered. To finish the day off, I headed into town and met some of the townsfolk, and that's a wrap on my first day. Oh boy, here we go. On to day 2, and I added our first mod, the Visible Fish mod, which works exactly how it sounds. It makes all the catchable fish visible to the player, and they look so cute swimming around. So I started out day 2 by watering all my parsnips and collecting enough wood for another chest. I took the chest down to the beach and picked up my rod from our old mate Willie, which I then took up to the mountain lake to do some fishing for the day. I popped my chest down under the tree and made myself comfy. I will say I do really like seeing all the fish swimming around, and it's great to see what fish you can catch in each body of water. Quite helpful. But yeah, I fished all day because honestly there's not a lot to do at the moment, and I kept fishing until I passed out at 2 AM. Time for another mod, and I added the hot spring farm cave on day 3. I didn't have to water my crops today, which was nice, so I went into my farm cave to see what I have, and ooh, this is nice. I can even take a dip in the hot spring. Now that is lush. There is some plantable space down here in the cave too, so I planted some mixed seeds that I can add to my daily routine. I honestly kind of wish this was in the base game. But anyway, I took all my fish I had caught the day before down to Willie's. I sold every last one of them, hoping to have enough for the fiberglass rod, but I fell short. So I fished out on the pier for a bit until I had enough to buy it along with some bait. I took my new rod up to the mountain lake where I kept on fishing, and I did so for the rest of the day. I've been here 3 days and the townsfolk have already had to drag me home twice now, so I can only imagine what they think of me. But there was no time to think as we're on to our next mod. That's right, it's time to go trash diving. But before I could, of course, I had to take good care of my parsnips, so I gave them a nice sprinkle of water. And in the hot spring cave, I watered my 6 crops before heading to town. I then went digging through every single trash can. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to get my hands on anything. Better cans my ass. I bet you can guess where I headed next. Yep, good job, it's the mountain lake, because again, nothing really to do at the moment. But instead of passing out this time, I was crossing my fingers that I had level 5 fishing and hauling my stash of fish back home to sell in the morning. It took me a couple of trips, but by bedtime I had all of my fish in the chest back home, and look at that. I got myself level 5 fishing, which means my fish will sell for more gold tomorrow. On day 5, I added the mini bars mod. As we were headed to the mines today, I thought a great mod to add would be to add health bars to the monsters. But before we can see them, Marnie showed up to my door and I got the goodest of all boys, my dog Honey. I collected all of my parsnips and shipped them off along with all my fish, so I am expecting some nice profits. I quickly stopped into the hot spring cave to water my crops, then with my pickaxe, chest, and 10 parsnips in hand, I headed up to the mines. It was on level 3 I encountered my first slimes and the health bars looked so cool. I kept on going down in the mines and managed to find some different monsters, and I ended up on level 14 with close to no energy at 1 AM. So I made the sensible decision to finish my day early and headed back to the farm just in the nick of time for bed. Another day, another mod, and today's mod was the swim mod. Clint quickly visited me, but I skipped past him before he could say anything interesting. Since I had some profit from my parsnips and fish, I hoed out some more land ready for some potatoes, and then I went along and watered all of them. After a quick stop into the hot spring cave to water my mixed seeds that were now turning into fully grown crops, I smelted some copper bars. I gathered some materials to make myself a scarecrow as I didn't want any crows having a nibble on my crops, and then I walked into town. I waited very patiently for everyone to walk past before starting my trash dive. I did manage to get my hands on a vegetable medley and a calcite though, so that bit of garbage mod is coming through for me. I put my pickaxe in for a copper upgrade, and after I took a dip in the river. It's kind of weird seeing the fish in there with you. Over at Pierre's, I got myself 60 potato seeds and the first backpack upgrade, which I don't usually do, but with all the mods I thought it could be quite useful. Anyway, back on the farm I planted all of my potatoes, and of course I miscounted, so back to Pierre's I went to get an extra 10 potato seeds, which I went back and planted. I made use of my hot spring cave and replenished my energy by soaking in the nice warm water and headed up to the mountain lake. I found Abigail playing her flute. I'm sure she'll get there with a bit of practice. For the rest of the night I fished on the edge of the lake until it got late and I headed to bed. It was on to day 7 and I added the most intriguing mod yet, the Survivalistic mod, which adds a hunger and thirst bar and a whole new layer to the game. But my day started out just as usual. I watered my potatoes and went down into the hot spring cave. I picked some parsnips that had grown and regained some energy by soaking in the hot water before taking a trip into town. While in town I dug through the trash but unfortunately found nothing, and I handed Lewis a flower for his birthday. Down at the beach I fished away the afternoon trying to catch some fish, and then I attempted to swim in the ocean, but for some reason it just wasn't letting me in, as you can see here. So I just went back to fishing. All the while my hunger and thirst meters were slowly depleting, which I was now becoming very aware of, because if they run out they have consequences. But I didn't know what those consequences were, and I didn't want to find out anytime soon. I continued to fish into the night before heading back to the farm about 9. Funnily enough, I went to bed that night certain that when I woke up my hunger and thirst bars would be reset. But of course they weren't. Why would they be? Day 8, I decided to add— oh my good god, what is that? Well, actually it's the sun. Yep, I added the extreme weather mod, which really just speaks for itself. This won't get annoying after a while, right? Anyway, I watered my potatoes and visited my hot spring cave to water my last 2 crops down there. And of course I got some energy back from a quick soak in the water. I walked into town and picked up my pickaxe from Clint's and immediately went to the mines because there's no chance I'm looking at the sun all day. Ah, that's better. I dove down through the mines for the rest of the day, but it got to about 6:30 and my thirst was looking quite dire, and I had run out of fish to eat, so I quickly scrambled back home to get some hydration back in me before shit hit the fan. I tried seeing if you could drink from your watering can. You cannot. But for the rest of the night I chopped some trees for wood and headed to bed. This one's for all you astrology lovers out there, as today's mod is called Lunar Disturbances, which adds a moon cycle which can affect your luck and even spawn monsters on a red moon. But with the sun beaming down on me, I started the daily routine with watering potatoes and making use of my hot spring cave. In town, I tried my luck searching through trash cans but drew the short straw and didn't get anything. So I foraged around the beach. Not that I could really even see myself, but hey. I was quickly running out of food and my thirst bar had been constantly dipping to critical, so I purchased some salads from the saloon to try and counteract this. And any forageables like leeks and horseradishes I just ate as it gave me extra hydration. I was sick of looking at the sun all day, so I ventured into the mines where I got my first lunar message. I have no idea what that means. But I thought, what's the worst that could happen, and kept on diving down the mines. I boiled at level 20 as, again, my thirst was very low and I didn't want to use all my salads in one day. So for the rest of the night I smelted ores. It was day 10 and I added a mod called NPC Adventures, which lets you go on adventures with villagers around the valley. However, I found out later that I installed it wrong, so it was never actually installed in the first place. Whoopsie. Anyway, I tried filling my watering can up in the lake and found out that I could swim in it, so of course I took a cheeky dip before finishing off my watering. So off I went to the hot spring cave as I usually do, but now I don't have the cave either. What's going on? In town I talked to Alex and this conversation made me think I had installed the NPC Adventures mod, but as you know, I had not. Then I went back to the grind in the mines. I snacked on some salads as I went to keep my hunger and thirst bars away from the danger zone, and I managed to get my hands on the wooden club. At level 25 I took the elevator back to the top as I thought that was enough mining for today. But I had some time left in my day and decided to fish at the mountain lake. Okay, I just want to fish. Nope. Okay, please just let me fish. Oh my god. You are kidding me. Come on. Okay, there we go. So the swim mod won't let me swim in the ocean, but the mountain lake, no, that's fine. For the rest of the night I just fished, as I was in a constant need for food to keep my hydration up. You know, my one gripe with the extreme weather mod is that even after the sun is gone, the glare still stays. And it's very annoying. Another day, another mod, and today's mod is the mobile phone. And oh my goodness, it is pouring down. The extreme weather mod is really showing today. And I got my hot spring cave back. Yay! But my 2 mix seeds that I had are now gone. However, not all is lost. As I was trying to find the hotkey for the mobile phone, I realized that with the swim mod, you can change from your normal clothes to your bathing suit instantaneously. Oh yeah. But I managed to find the hotkey and I finally had the mobile phone. I couldn't do much with it, so I customized it before getting bored and carrying on with my day, which consisted of mining, replenishing thirst, more mining, buying more salads, shipping off some valuables, and smelting ores in the pouring rain. It was day 12 and I wanted to add a visual mod, so I added the medieval buildings mod, and it actually looks really cool. At first I thought it just changed the look of the house, but it changes every farm building in the game, and they all look awesome. As I am someone who has terrible hay fever, picking my potatoes amongst all the petals probably would have ended me, but it did look very pretty thanks to the extreme weather mod. For the rest of the day I retreated back to the mines and managed to get all the way down to level 40 where I farmed myself some iron. The egg festival was being held tomorrow and I wanted to have some sprinklers for the strawberries I was going to get. Later that afternoon I did go and visit Gus to get a few more salads before heading home and making a start on smelting my iron, which I did for the rest of the night. Just before bed though I did get another LUNAR message about a waxing gibbous. Obviously my first thought was who's gibbous and why are they waxing them, but I thought it would be best not to ask any questions. Oh brother, this guy stinks! Ah, what a lovely day. Oh Jesus Christ, why is it so bright? Today's mod is line sprinklers. Yep, they're sprinklers that water in a line. But before I could get my strawberries, I hit the mines to go get some extra iron that I needed. And back on the farm, I set up my crop area with the line sprinklers in mind. As hard as it is to see with that glaring sun, you can see that I made myself 8 line sprinklers and my crop area was looking quite nice, I will admit. At the festival, I got myself 64 strawberry seeds as I knew I wanted to expand the crop area with more line sprinklers. Then I demolished everyone in an egg hunt despite accidentally jumping into the river. And back on the farm just before bed, I added more crop space and planted all of my strawberry seeds. You see what I mean though? The sun's gone. Just get this stupid glare off my screen, you know? You see that scarecrow? Yep. It's now a catcrow. And it looks so cute. Anyway, as I mentioned yesterday, I wanted to get myself some more line sprinklers, and for that I needed more iron and copper, so it was back to the mines to get myself some ore. About lunchtime, I paid Gus a visit to get me some more salads, and I was running low, and that thirst bar refused to stay still for even a second. And then I went back to farming ores. I came back home later on and smelted everything I had collected, and by that night I had 8 more line sprinklers to place down, which meant no more watering crops. It was day 15 and the smell of spring was definitely in the air today, and today's mod was called Kids Treehouse, which is about as simple as it sounds. However, trying to find said treehouse was an absolute nightmare. I checked what felt like every inch of the valley before I found it sitting right in the middle of the map. But I ventured inside and it was really cute. I took a seat on a chair and who in their right mind sits like this? Bruh, look at this dude. But anyway, back on the farm, I cleared out some more space around my crop area before heading up to the mountain lake to fish. Since I was out of money and running low on salads, my next best source of hydration was fish. So I spent the rest of the day here fishing. However, near the end of the day, I was clearly not paying attention and my thirst bar hit 0, which absolutely drained my energy bar and I was instantly put into exhaustion. But luckily I had some fish on me, which I ate and saved myself before I passed out. I was definitely ready for bed after that one. On to day 16 and I added the Moongate mod. And it was also pouring down with rain today. And another thing, my mailbox was missing. Not too sure about that one. I went on a valley-wide search to find these so-called Moongates, and I found one finally just west of the community centre, so I entered the portal and ended up in the desert? To which I found another gate which took me to Harvey's clinic. I travelled back to the desert and then back to the valley once again, and I'll tell you what, these Moongates are very cool. I continued around the valley in hopes of finding more gates, but unfortunately I couldn't find any. What I didn't realise is that the Moongates change each day, but at the time I had no idea. But down on the beach I figured who needs a bridge when you can swim, and the swim mod finally let me into the water at the beach. That'll save me 300 wood. Here's me swimming across the river because I got lost and then remembered I can change change into my swimsuit at any time, so I got distracted. That night I transferred all my stuff from my chest up at the mines back to the farm and dug through trash cans with no avail. So I reorganized my chests and then just went to bed. It was day 17 and holy, that sun is bright. Today I added the rush order mod, which lets you spend more money and resources at Clint's and Robin's to have orders completed faster, hence a rush order. But since I didn't have either money nor resources, I headed up to the mines and went on a bit of an exhibition. I think my PC was struggling a bit on floor 42 with the amount of monsters and mods. I dropped a few frames, but it was fine. And I pretty much did this for the rest of the day. That night I smelted some ores before bed and I added a new mod. A classic to the Stardew Valley community is the tractor mod, so of course I had to include that. On my way to Robin's, I picked myself up some salmon berries and waited patiently outside. Scrolling through the farm buildings, you can see that the medieval buildings mod changes them all too, which looks quite awesome. But damn, does the tractor cost a lot. I should have expected that, to be fair, so it looks like I won't be getting that anytime soon. Disappointed, I walked around the valley for the rest of the day collecting salmon berries for food and hydration purposes. It was day 19 and I added one of my favourite mods of all time, which is the Starblue Valley Recolor mod. I don't know, there's just something about it. However, I spent the morning resetting floor 20 for copper, which I then smelted back on the farm. And over in the town, as hard as it is to see, I went around digging through the trash where I managed to find a whole ass pizza. But then I got bored and I just headed to bed. Yep, I added a mod that just instantly catches fish for you. And not only that, it'll be top quality. On my way to the mountain lake, I did find a moongate which took me all the way to Marnie's ranch, which is the exact moment I realized the moongates change every day. But I spent the whole day fishing. Honestly, I just wanted to see how many I could catch with the mod on, and I managed to get 32 iridium quality fish by the time it reached 8, which is not too shabby at all. On to day 21 and I was in full chaos mode. I scythed my strawberries, but I can't remember what mod made me do that. The sun was glaring down and I couldn't see shit, but with CJB cheats on, I could spawn anything I wanted and I got myself 999 salads, a bit of this, a bit of that. Oh look, I can travel there. Let's forge this into the most overpowered weapon and then destroy everything in the mines. Bomb run coming in. No tractor? No worries. Just give yourself everything that you need. Oh, look at that. It's done. Woohoo! Tractor time. Okay guys, I think I'm done. I think I'm done now. Yeah. I'm done. Alrighty everyone, so I didn't quite make it to the end of spring, but I think that's okay. It got quite chaotic at the end there. I just wanted to quickly say thank you all so much for 10,000 subscribers. You are all incredible. So I'm working on a Discord server as we speak to celebrate 10,000 subs so that you can all hang out with me in the community and have some fun, you know, all that good stuff. So if you enjoyed the video, please do leave a like on the video and subscribe for more Stardew Valley shenanigans, and thanks for watching everyone. See you in the next one.